Today I'm going to be walking you through how to do a comic book type drawing inside of Procreate. So I got my iPad here, got my coffee, I'm ready, so let's draw some skulls. All right, so here we are inside of Procreate. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a new document. I'm going to do a square 2048 by 2048. You can do whatever size you want if you're doing your own comic. I'm just doing square because I put all these up on Instagram. So also start with a paper texture. I like these to look like Sunday morning cartoons like in the funny pages and stuff like that, like the Peanuts or Marmaduke or some stuff. Right here I found this paper texture I found for free on pexels.com, which is like a free stock image website for like stock images and textures and stuff. Pretty cool, check it out. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go over Procreate and I am going to go to add and paste. And I'm just going to scale it up till it fills the page. Cool. And set that to multiply. And the other thing I do every time I'm starting one of these drawings, I grab my favorite brush here. It's the Tinderbox brush. It comes with Procreate now, I think in Procreate 5, and it just looks like sort of like a bleedy Sharpie or something like that, like a marker. So I'm grabbing that brush and make sure I'm on a new layer. I'm just going to draw my bounding box for my comic. It's just sort of shorthand to like show that this is a Sunday morning newspaper comic. All right, so now we got that. Group those, and we don't have to worry about that anymore. I'm going to make a new layer. Now we're going to get to sketching. So I'm going to grab my 6B pencil here. That's what I like to sketch with. Start drawing. Usually I go into this and I don't really have any idea of what I'm going to do, but today, April 11th, it's the day before Easter and everyone's still in quarantine. So I had the idea I wanted to do a little worm, like self-isolating, a little worm like staying in his house and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and go forward with that. Yeah, I tend to draw a lot of skulls in my stuff. So I recommend working with reference, but I'm not doing that because I just sort of have a way that I like drawing skulls, and they're not very like anatomically correct or anything. It's just sort of a way I always draw them. It sort of comes from like looking at a lot of like tattoo flash art and stuff, like sort of dumb looking skulls where they're like all lumpy. That's just sort of the way I like them. merge down, and that's basically our pencil sketch. Feeling pretty good about that. So now the fun part. Now we get to do the inking. So I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to go back to our tinderbox brush here, which just comes with Procreate. It's just a basic one. I think all I did was add a little bit more smoothing to the brush so we get some better strokes, because I tend to have shaky hands. And just start inking, this is my favorite part, the inking and the detail. And you don't have to, you can deviate as much away from the original drawing as you want, just sort of feel it out. Like I like to add a little bit more unevenness and stuff to the drawing at this point. If you notice, I'm going pretty far away from what the original drawing is already, but it's just sort of feeling it out. I also really like to make these skulls lumpy. Just makes it look a little bit more interesting when you see an uneven surface. I just like them to look a little bit dopey. Yeah, I tend to use a lot of layers when I'm working. I don't know why. And I just figure if I want to reposition anything, it just saves me a couple steps of selecting. But if they're there, why not? Why not use them? But I'm always making a new layer and then merging and then making a new layer and then merging. Always rotating my canvas too so I can get better stroke without having to work too hard. It's just fun to add all these dumb details, I think it makes these comics like gives them life. There you go, and he's watching Netflix here, like I don't know, Nailed It or something like that. He's just quarantining, He's being a responsible worms. He doesn't even have any hands to wash. He's fine. There we go. And yeah, there's a little worm guy chilling in his house. This is pretty much how I've been spending my quarantine, is binge watching a lot of shows and drawing, I know I'm at my desk right now, but usually I do this every night in front of the TV. I do these drawings every day. So usually what I do is like I just hang out with my girlfriend. We watch a movie or Netflix or something, and I'll just draw the whole time and try and make dumb jokes. So a lot of the movies I just really listen to. Now is really like my favorite part, I think, which is inking in all the detail. But now I'm going to make that detail layer, and we can just add in like imperfections and surface quality for the skull and some cracks. This worm may be a homeowner, but he is not taking very good care of his house. It's really fun to just try and get it to be just right though. Yeah, I've been drawing ever since I was a little kid, you know. I remember always drawing. I always had a pencil in my hand, some crayons or something. But, you know, I still suck at it. But always, always love to do it. Just practice, practice, practice. Always looking at art that you like is important too. I really like old hippie cartoonists, you know, like Shelf Silverstein is amazing. I love that guy. Or like old Mad magazines. I like these to look like funny paper cartoons, you know, like comic strips. So I tend to add a lot of halftone dots, and you can get a halftone dot like pack like of brushes and stuff. They're really cool. But for this video, I wanted to actually just use one that I made that's real simple. You know, this is just a circle inside in a halftone brush. Maybe I'll do another video later on how to make one of these. But this works great. You know, it's just a circle being repeated in your brushstroke, using it as a texture. We also want to do it inside the house quite a bit, so our eye goes there because the contrast will pull our eye directly into the eyes of the little house of this little worm dude too, you know? You always want to think about where your viewer's eye is going. The only other thing I want to do, I think, is get a little speech bubble, you know? Make it feel a little bit more like a comic strip. And to do that, I like to go to Canvas here and make sure we have our drawing guide on. By default, that's gonna give us this grid. But we want symmetry. So I'm just gonna go ahead and draw a speech bubble. I just do this because it makes it a little bit easier to draw a nice looking speech bubble. Have our little worm dude reminding everybody to stay at home. And just writing stay home here. And that's feeling pretty good to me. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of just watching me go through Procreate and stumble around. You know, the key is to like just practice all the time, practice every day. You know, it's just something that I do now. I just come home and I draw. So there's our finished drawing, and thank you for watching. If you like, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Brian Wade Scott. I do drawings like this every day. So thanks for watching and take care. Wash your hands. Stay safe. Stay home.